Hello and welcome to The Fourth Wave, a podcast named after the fourth wave of feminism that aims to inspire, empower, inform, and celebrate the woman of today. Each episode, we will give you strategies and ideas for living a life as your most empowered self. This week, we will talk about ways to continue educating yourself even after you've done with school, what it means to be independent in today's dating world, and a self-empowerment booster tip that always leaves us feeling powerful and able to take on the day. I'm Mirtha Michelle, a best-selling author and poet, and I'm your host and co-founder of The Fourth Wave, and I'm here in Los Angeles with my co-founder, Jamie Barada.
That's me, Jamie Barada, an entertainment and fashion attorney living in Los Angeles. Okay, so I'm very excited about this episode, Mirtha, because it marks our 10th episode, which means we're done with the first season of our podcast. It's very exciting. It's been
Quite a journey.
We've learned a lot. Some of you might not know that we self-produce everything. We self-fund everything, which actually makes it very cool and unique because everything we're saying is just purely trustworthy. We have no investors. We have no sponsors. So these really are our own viewpoints at all times. But yeah, it's been a lot of work just figuring everything out, and it's been a lot of fun. So this is our 10th episode. And as you know, we like to start off our episodes by sharing strategies that help us feel a sense of empowerment in our daily lives, things that work for us and hopefully can work for you too. And we love it when these strategies actually come from you guys. So please write to us with what works for you at our email address, info@theivywave.com. Or you can send us a direct message on Instagram, comment, or same for Twitter, and both are at the Ivy Wave. This week, our Try This at Home has to do with continuing education. So what I mean by that is, like, we go to school, right? I don't think necessarily college is necessary for everyone, but we go to school, most of us, growing up. And then at some point we just kind of stop. Like you figure out what you want to do and you stop educating yourself in that space.
Not me.
And not me. And I don't think that means necessarily I don't mean educate yourself like go to school. I mean, there's so many ways you can keep yourself educated and up to date and keep sharpening your tools in the areas.
You never stop learning, that's the truth.
Right. For personal growth, and then also even with your careers. And now there's so many different outlets and ways you can educate yourself. It doesn't just mean in a classroom, like YouTube videos. It's crazy. Like I lately have been loving going on YouTube and just finding a panel or just like about a topic I might not know about. It's so much more engaging because you're actually like seeing a video of it. And
like a TED Talk, you mean?
Yeah, something like that. But there's so many more outlets than just TED Talks. You can like you can do online school. What do you like to do, Mirtha?
I love the History Channel.
You do?
I am obsessed. I've been obsessed with the History Channel since I was a kid. One of my favorite shows on the History Channel is Ancient Aliens. Mm-hmm. And I know it sounds creepy, but it's not creepy at all. Every episode, they'll focus on maybe like an ancient civilization, etc. But I learn something new every time I watch this show. I absolutely love it. But yeah, I love the History Channel.
Wait, you know what?
I'm a nerd at heart.
Another really good example for something you do is when you started to work on adapting your book to a television show. Didn't you start like taking classes or reading?
Well, what I did was that I took a writing for TV class.
Right.
I'm not gonna write the show, but I wanted to understand the correct terminology so that I can prepare myself as a producer.
Right.
I think it's important to acquaint yourself with
and then you can take those meetings and you're just more empowered
I'm more empowered because I'm more
meetings.
knowledgeable in the subject.
Yeah, so I love that. I actually think that's like such an amazing example. And I think it's such a necessity.
You have to be proactive.
Yeah.
You have to be proactive. You don't have to go to school for everything, but it doesn't hurt to pick up a book. And there's so many people that they're self-taught.
So many people. So let us know if you try this at home. Just invest in one way this week to continue educating yourself in an area of your life, like whether it's related to your career or just maybe picking up a new personal interest of yours, and let us know.
Hobby.
Yeah, a new hobby. Let us know if it helps you feel a sense of empowerment in your daily lives. You can get in touch with us and drop us an email at info@theivyWave.com. Or again, you can direct message us on Instagram or Twitter at The Ivy Wave.
INDEPENDENT. Do you know what that mean, man? INDEPENDENT. Do you know what that means?
Okay, so this week's topic is modern day dating.
I know you're excited about this week's topic, Martha.
I am a little excited about it, but it's because I find it funny because I am one of those women that I consider myself a modern independent woman.
Right.
Yet there's this duality to me, which I am still somewhat old fashioned in a lot of things. Maybe it's the Latin, my Latin culture. Mm-hmm. I'm Dominican, guys, and I was raised a certain way, men being a certain way. And of course, I don't live in Dominican Republic, I live in America, but I still have a few of those lessons, right?
Yeah, I'm the exact same way. We're both very independent, modern women, and we have our own careers, we support ourselves, but I also really appreciate having a partner that
pays for dinner.
That's one example. But yeah, that just like, I don't know, still kind of keeps up with those old fashioned traits of
they make you feel good as a woman.
Yeah.
I always wonder though, because not everyone sees it that way. I think if you have a Latin background or a European background, most likely you have more of those old world tendencies. Mm-hmm. When I was growing up, men in Dominican Republic, a lot of them wouldn't even want to go anywhere to the corner if they didn't have money. Mm-hmm. It was just something that they had. It's like even like a lot of the boyfriends I've had, they've always found it kind of like old fashioned that women shouldn't pay for dinners and stuff like that. I mean, I don't think it's wrong if a girl does. What do you think, Jamie?
I really appreciate my partner paying for me. I think it's a gesture. It's not just about the money aspect. It's a gesture of
should it be maybe the person who invites the other person who comes up with the plan? Should it be that way? Like maybe that person should pay?
Yeah, I think that's nice.
I mean, I never ask out guys, so
right.
But I feel like if you're asking me out, right? If you're asking me out, it's a nice gesture if you're paying for dinner. But I do think that women should always be prepared.
Oh yeah, well, you
To split the bill in case. Incapable, yes. In case that person you chose to go out with believes in the 50-50.
Yeah, and just be capable. Like, you never want to be in a position where you can't. You never want to be in a position where, let's say, you live with your boyfriend or I don't know, maybe it's girlfriend, husband, whatever. You never want to be in a position where you have to stay with that person because you wouldn't be able to afford rent without them or have your own living situation. So I think that for me is like being a modern woman. I don't think you have, and I don't think then you have to like split everything 50-50.
Well, thinking back on my childhood, my parents have always had a joint bank account.
Yeah.
So technically, it's like whatever is my father's is my mother's, and whatever is my mother's is my father's.
Yeah, I believe in that.
I think it's nice. I don't know exactly how I feel about that, to be honest, until I guess I'm in the position to make that choice. But I do think that there's something really beautiful about that.
Yeah.
About true partnership. What's yours is mine. What's mine is yours.
Yeah.
But before we get to the marriage part or to the commitment part, we're in the dating part.
Yeah. Wait, so how do you feel then about, this is related to what you were saying about they should treat you if they invited you. How do you feel about
I was actually kind of joking about that because I don't ask out guys.
Well, here's my question. What do you feel about women asking out men on dates or asking a man for his number?
I actually think that's very commendable. That's brave.
Yeah, same.
That's confident.
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of men that find that very sexy when a woman takes control. And since we're talking about independent women, it's nowadays, if you really think about it, why should we have to wait around for a man to text back or to text you first? If you want to contact the guy, you contact him. Sure. I tend to believe that it should always be more of the man chasing the woman, simply because it's in their nature to chase. If they have it too easy, most likely it's not going to be as exciting for them. Women, it's more in our nature to be chased. It's not about old world, modern world. It's more biologically, to be honest. Men are hunters. It's true. And
what else?
And we
dating?
are their prey.
Oh, what about, I guess it would be the same thing, like buying drinks, like taking someone out for drinks, picking up the bar tab.
I am the wrong person to talk about this because I am the kind of woman that it's like, you're asking me out. You want my attention. I'm going to keep it real here. In the end, men, everything they do is to get the attention of women, or if they're gay, to get attention of a lover. Men want to achieve success in life simply so they can buy things and they can have financial stability, but it's always to lure a woman or to lure someone of sexual interest. I will give you an example. If a man asks you out, he's thinking about one day getting in your pants. That is just the reality. I feel that you should let the man woo you. Why not? Yes, take me out to dinner. Buy me flowers. Treat me like a queen. Why not?
Yeah.
And guess what? Women do certain things to repay that.
You know what's one thing I really like that my boyfriend does is he opens the door for me in the car and in the Uber.
Yeah, that's a true gentleman.
And then he walks around. It's funny because when he started to do that, and this says a lot about, I guess, just dating today. When he started to do that, it made me uncomfortable.
Because you weren't used to it.
Yeah. I was
Because
like, you
there's
don't
so
need to do
many
that.
men that weren't taught that.
Right.
There's a guy that I'm hanging out with, and he does that, and I find it adorable. I'm like, oh, thank you. He has manners. His mama raised him well.
Yeah, there's so many little things like that.
It's chivalry.
Yeah. That I don't know. I don't think being a feminist means that you can't accept gestures like that. Or
Yeah, sometimes people are they consider themselves feminists and they want to be so hardcore about everything. No, allow someone to do something nice for you. Listen, if my friend wants to pay for my lunch, I'll accept my friend to pay for my lunch. Why not? If my friend wants to do something nice for me. So why not if a man that you're dating is treating you nicely, opening the door for you and paying for dinners. Obviously, I think also it's all about not abusing it. Mm-hmm. Not abusing it. If a guy's taking you on a date, be reasonable. Don't, in my opinion, out of courtesy, don't order like the most expensive dish on the menu. Mm-hmm. I feel you have to be respectful.
right,
Mindful, yeah.
Yeah, it's actually really interesting. It's definitely I think some people are going to be listening to this and completely agree, and some are going to think we sound horrible.
Well, I'm being honest.
Yeah.
I'm being honest. Have I ever paid for a man before? Yes, I have. Mm-hmm. But I've never made it into a habit.
My other pet peeve while we're talking about this is, do you remember that one time when we're not going to say who it is, but we were, oh wait, no, you were not with me, but I think I told you this story.
I think I know exactly what you're talking
It was like 4 girls and just one guy, a friend of all of ours, and we were going out, from spot to spot, and he would just wait like for someone to get the Uber each time. Never volunteered to get the Uber.
Well, maybe he didn't have Uber.
No, he had it.
He had it for sure.
Yeah, he had it for sure. It's like things like that. It's hard. It's like, I don't know.
It was a turnoff for you.
It was. And I didn't expect him to. We were all just friends. But still, I guess in my head, I thought he should get the Uber at least once, or I don't know.
At least offer.
Mm-hmm. But then maybe that is old way of thinking. Maybe of just because he's the one man in the group, expecting him to.
I don't know. I have my close guy friends. For some reason, they would never accept a woman chipping in or paying for anything. Mm-hmm. It's really interesting. They're just like that. Mm-hmm. I think it's an individual choice, but I do think the gesture is always nice. But then I remember when I was living with my ex, he was very old fashioned in that sense, always paying for dinners and lunches and breakfast, whatever. Wherever we went, he would always pick up the bill. But because he always did that, what I would do is that I would make dinner. Mm-hmm. At home. I would make him lunch. I would pick up the bill for groceries. I wanted to give something back because he was always doing that, and he wasn't accepting for me to chip in. So I would make him nice dinners. I knew how much he liked home cooked meals, and I would make it special for him. So in a way, you can always find a way around it. if a man doesn't want to accept for you to pay, contribute on dates, maybe there's other things you can do to show your appreciation. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's something I always like to do. I always like to cook. And to be honest, if you go and do groceries and you make a really nice dinner, it's like taking someone out to dinner.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. Whatever way you can contribute, I think.
Whatever way you also show that person that you find them, special.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, I think that's an interesting topic. We'd really like to hear your thoughts on it as well. And now we're going to leave you with a self-empowerment booster tip like we always do. Mine that I want to share this week, I actually had trouble coming up with one, but because I wanted it to be related to what we were talking about, but it's not. But there's this one exercise that I like to do. So in terms of that, I find it really helpful with if you're ever feeling anxious or stressed or overwhelmed with which sometimes a lot of people can feel this time of the year, the end of the year with work. It is just a simple 2 minutes of breathing, deep inhales, deep exhales. And there's so much science and so many studies that are done on the benefits of deep breathing, especially as it relates to stress and your nervous system. It is amazing the effects of doing that when you're feeling a little bit overwhelmed. So just take 2 minutes, 3 minutes, set it aside. Just focus on your breathing. There's actually an app I like for it called Breath Pacer, something like that. And you'll be back in control of your day and your emotions. I kid you not, after those 2-3 minutes. So try it. That's my little tip for this week. And that's it for this episode.
So that's it for this episode of The Fourth Wave. Remember to try this at home. Let us know if you tried it and if it worked for you. So I'm going to do the breathing for sure. Thank you, Jamie, for that tip. Mm-hmm. Sometimes we need to be reminded to stop and breathe.
You can get in touch with us. Mirtha's on Instagram at Mirtha Michelle, and I'm Jamie_Barada. Our email is info@theivyWave.com. Send us your comments and feedback. Until next time, I'm Jamie Barada.
And I'm Mirtha Michelle.